Who runs the world today? For decades, the answer was simple: America. The American flag flew everywhere. From New York to Tokyo, from Berlin to Baghdad, US power was impossible to ignore. One superpower, one currency, one military no one could challenge. But look closer at the map. Zoom in on the other side of the world. Something big is happening. A red flag is rising. Factories are spreading. Ships are being built. Cities are lighting up brighter than ever. While America spent 20 years and trillions of dollars fighting wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Yemen, Somalia, Kuwait, and many more, China was doing something different. They weren't dropping bombs, they were building their power. They weren't invading countries, they were investing in them. China built the world's fastest trains, the biggest navy, and technology that now competes with Silicon Valley. The world is changing, and most people didn't even notice. Right now, a silent race is happening. In government offices and military bases, in tech companies and shipyards, two superpowers are competing. This race will decide how you live, what you can buy, and even what you can see online. The 20th century belonged to America, but the 21st century, no one knows yet. The question that will shape our future is simple but scary. Who will rule the world tomorrow? Rewind to the year 2000. Back then, China's military was a joke to most Western analysts. It had millions of soldiers, sure, but their equipment was outdated, their navy barely left the coast, and their technology was decades behind. China's entire economy was smaller than France's, just 3% of global GDP. The country was seen as a cheap factory floor, not a serious rival. But Chinese leaders saw things differently. They watched the Gulf War in 1991 and saw how easily American precision weapons destroyed Iraq's Soviet-style military. They studied NATO's intervention in Kosovo. They learned, while the US celebrated the end of the Cold War and called itself the world's only superpower, China was taking notes. They realized they couldn't beat America by copying it. They had to outsmart it. So they started a long-term plan: invest in education, steal or buy foreign technology, build infrastructure, modernize the military step by step. It wasn't flashy. There were no victory parades or bold declarations. But by the 2010s, the world started to notice. China wasn't just catching up. In some areas, it was pulling ahead. Xi Jinping became China's leader in 2012, and he changed everything. Unlike his predecessors, who kept a low profile, Xi had a vision, and he wasn't shy about it. He called it the Chinese dream and the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. In simple terms, China was once the most powerful country on earth, and Xi wanted that title back. In 2021, at the Communist Party's 100th anniversary, Xi stood before thousands and declared, "A strong country must have a strong military." He wasn't talking about defense, he was talking about dominance. Xi has made it clear, by 2035 China will have a world-class military. By 2049, the 100th anniversary of communist rule, China should be the most powerful nation on the planet. This isn't just politics for Xi, it's personal. He's tied his entire legacy to this goal. He's removed term limits so he can stay in power indefinitely. He's purged rivals and centralized control. Everything, the economy, technology, diplomacy, the military, is now focused on one mission: making China number one. And Xi is betting everything on it. Since 2000, China's military spending has exploded, up more than 740%. Today, it's the second largest defense budget in the world, behind only the United States. But here's the key difference. America spreads its military across the globe, bases in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, Asia. China doesn't. It focuses almost all its power in one region, the Indo-Pacific. That makes every dollar go further. The People's Liberation Army isn't the same force it was 20 years ago. The Navy has gone from a coastal defense fleet to a blue water navy with aircraft carriers and advanced destroyers. The Air Force now flies stealth fighters and long-range bombers. They've built a dedicated space force and a cyber command. Every branch has been restructured, retrained, and rearmed with cutting-edge equipment. This wasn't done randomly. It's the result of careful planning and state-backed investment. China's government controls key industries, shipbuilding, aerospace, electronics, so it can pour resources into military tech without waiting for Congress or private companies. It's centralized, fast, and laser-focused. And that focus is paying off. Let's start with shipbuilding. China now builds about 40% of the world's ships, the US and its allies, less than 1%. That's not just a trade advantage, it's a military one. In a long war, whoever can build and repair ships faster wins. Right now, that's China. They can produce warships at a speed and scale America simply can't match. Then there's hypersonic missiles. These weapons fly at over 5 times the speed of sound, low to the ground, and can change direction mid-flight. They're almost impossible to intercept. China has been testing and deploying them for years. The US is still playing catch-up. In a conflict over Taiwan, these missiles could sink American aircraft carriers before they even get close. And don't forget cyber warfare and AI. China has the world's largest cyber force, constantly probing for weaknesses in foreign networks. They've stolen terabytes of data, military secrets, corporate blueprints, personal information. On top of that, they're integrating artificial intelligence into everything: surveillance, facial recognition, autonomous drones, battlefield command systems. As Putin once said, "Whoever leads in AI will rule the world." China heard that loud and clear. Militarily, the world is still unipolar. America has more firepower, more bases, and more reach than anyone else. But economically, the world is now multipolar, and in that world, China is the rising star. Through the Belt and Road Initiative, China has invested in over 140 countries, building ports, roads, railways, and 5G networks. It's not colonization, it's influence through infrastructure. From Pakistan to Kenya to Greece, Chinese money is reshaping economies. Countries that take Chinese loans often find themselves tied to Beijing's interests. It's soft power on a massive scale. And unlike the US, which often attaches political conditions to aid, China doesn't lecture about democracy or human rights. They just build and ask for loyalty in return. This shift is real. Global power is no longer just about aircraft carriers and nuclear weapons. It's about who controls supply chains, rare earth minerals, digital networks, and trade routes. In this new game, China isn't just a player, it's writing the rules. And the West is scrambling to respond. America's waking up. After years of focusing on the Middle East, Washington has declared China its top strategic priority. The US has strengthened alliances like AUKUS with Australia and the UK, and the Quad with India, Japan, and Australia. It's also trying to choke off China's access to advanced technology, banning chip exports, restricting AI research partnerships, and pressuring allies to avoid Chinese telecom giant Huawei. But there's a problem. The US is stretched thin. It's supporting Ukraine against Russia. It's managing tensions in the Middle East. It's trying to counter China in the Pacific. That's a lot of fronts for one country, even a superpower. Meanwhile, China has one focus: Taiwan. They're not distracted. They're not overextended. They're ready. Many experts believe China could try to take Taiwan by force sometime in the next 20 to 30 years. But it wouldn't be easy. Taiwan is an island with strong defenses, difficult terrain, and a population that doesn't want to be invaded. An amphibious assault would be brutal. Some analysts compare it to China's potential Vietnam, a quagmire that could cost them everything. The question is, will Xi take that risk? Will Xi? The rise of China's military isn't just about weapons or technology. It's about a vision of the future. America shaped the 20th century with its ideas of freedom, democracy, and capitalism. Now, China wants to shape the 21st century with its own model: stability, development, and centralized control. Two completely different worldviews, and the world is watching to see which one wins. This competition will define everything: trade, technology, security, even the internet we use. Will it lead to peaceful coexistence where both powers respect each other's spheres? Or will it end in confrontation, maybe even war? No one knows for sure. But one thing is certain: we're living through a historic shift. The global balance of power is changing in real time. The question is no longer, can China catch up to America? That debate is over. The real question now is, what happens when it does? And how that question gets answered will shape the lives of billions of people for generations to come.